All right, everyone. This is going to be a group stage prediction for the FIFA World Cup 2026. I'm going to be doing Group A, where we are featuring Mexico, Czech Republic, Korea, and South Africa. So to begin with Mexico, they are the hosts, and they've been in decent preparation form. They beat Ghana 2-0, uh, tied Belgium, Portugal. You know, they're on a winning run. The last time they lost was, I think, to Paraguay 2-1. These are teams that they face in Copa America that kind of get the best of them once in a while, but they're a very solid side and they're given a manageable group. Not easy, but very balanced type of group. We also have Czech Republic, who beat an Ireland side that had some momentum, beating Portugal. They had Troy Parrott, who was very brilliant against Portugal and was carrying that form into playoffs. Uh, lots of equalizers, taking matches to penalties, and winning them. Eventually being a Denmark side that was consistently in the World Cup to make it to the World Cup instead of Denmark. I know a lot of the previous videos they had Denmark as like their prediction for Group A, but now that Denmark is gone, we have Czech Republic here, a side that not only did they equalize well, but they won their PK shootouts too. So it kind of says a lot about them if they were to go into knockouts. But we're gonna stick to group stage type of logic. And then you have a Korea side that was always on the mid-tier, exciting level compared to other Asian nations. Like when you look at Iran, let's say, they are mid-tier. They're not mid-tier exciting. They lack that, you know, for them it's their defense, but they're just an inch behind Korea. I think Korea is a lot better. They did what Iran failed to do. They beat Portugal in the last World Cup. Uh, had that thriller against Ghana, and I think they had one loss to Uruguay or lost to Ghana but beat Uruguay or drew Uruguay. Their win against Portugal is what took them through to the knockouts, where they eventually got eliminated by Brazil. Following that, obviously changes happened in football. A lot of people say Son going to the MLS. He's still creating though. He might not be like scoring, but as a left winger, his creating ability is just phenomenal. He's still gonna play a big role. I think Cho Gusan from Midtjylland doing very good. I mean, he kind of stole the show for a lot of reasons, not just his footballing abilities, but sticking to football is I think header against Ghana was very good. He's going to be leading the attack. The issue I think is a local coach playing with no structure. Similar issues that you see in Iran, with I think with Korea, just like a Korean version of that. And I don't intend to just keep bringing Iran into this, but like they're really close, in the rankings. I think I'd say Japan, Korea, Australia, Iran, the top four teams in Asia. A lot of things that have been happening in Asian football is common, amongst a lot of these nations. Asia has actually been overall pretty impressive in the last tournaments, getting victories against European sides. So I think even at their worst, though, Korea still have something to offer. Might not be doing great under this coach. I know they got lucky to make semis under Klinsmann. That was not that much better. So it's not just a local coach issue. They clearly don't have that much coaching options here. Not the best coaches, but still a very good group of talented players that can deliver when needed. And then the South Africa side that can be tricky. Nobody would give them much shot to get more than 3 points, but anything can happen. And they got some. I'd say they got one top tier striker in the Premier League. That's Foster. The rest of them are players that play for teams like Mamelodi Sundowns, let's say, that in the South African league. They're not really big name stars, but they have history from 2010 where they got a 1-1 draw against Mexico. Not saying that's going to happen here, but they know how to play in a World Cup. Um, I just think this time their experience is going to be a bit different. So kicking off against Mexico, it would make sense based on the result that Mexico got, against similar level teams. Like let's say Ghana, they beat them 2-0. I would not be surprised if we see a similar result against South Africa. Instead of 2-0, let's say we take it a bit further and say 3-0, 3-0 to Mexico. I don't really think that South Africa would stand a chance this time. This is not really the type of match that obviously favors them. Maybe they can get one back, right? I'm gonna say my final prediction is 3-1 to Mexico. Korea and Czech Republic, very even, very even. I can see Korea, get the opening goal, and then Czech Republic equalizes late on to just scrape a point. Then match day two, that same Czech Republic side goes up against Africa side that lost to Mexico. And I think that South Africa again will struggle, but they will get one back and they will concede a bit less. They will concede a bit less, but they will still lose. They will have to beat Korea by 3 goals to go through as like a very iffy type of third place side with 3 points and a neutral goal difference. Their tournament chances are not going to be high here, unless you want to give them a shot and say that we get a 2-2 draw. Okay, I cannot see that. I cannot see that. I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't think South Africa has it in them to draw here against Czech Republic. Moving on to Mexico and Korea, they already played and they got the 2-2 draw. Will it happen again? I think it will. I think if based on what you're going to see in match day three, if we say Mexico wins this 9 points, you got to be careful when predicting 9 points for size because, I'd say there's going to be, because there's a lot of groups, I'm going to say no more than 3 groups are going to get 9 points. I don't think Group A is going to be one of those. I think it's a bit too balanced. Even 7 points is too much. If I were to say 7-9 or 5-7, I'd say Mexico's 5-7. You know, uh, I think even Czech Republic might get a draw like that against Mexico, and then you have a 0-0 draw here. I don't think it's gonna happen, right? Who needs the draw against Mexico to avoid a loss more? I think it's gonna be Korea. So we can say that Mexico will beat Czech Republic 3-1 and get their 7 points. And Czech Republic, because they drew Korea and they got their victory against South Africa, they take a loss here that neutralizes their victory, and the draw is already at a neutral. So it's like that 4 point side with a neutral goal difference. And usually they finish as second or third. Czech Republic finishes as second rather than best third because that leaves room for Korea, who's been very mediocre, to possibly get away with the draw against South Africa. Maybe they can make it, they can overtake Czech Republic, but I would not feel that comfortable, you know, saying that here. I'd rather just say a 0-0 draw against Korea is what happens, and Korea becomes a type of side that does not dominate, but they have an answer for every goal that they concede, and they become like a very mediocre to weak best third. I don't think they will get eliminated. I don't think it's that competitive. It's competitive, but not in a point where this entire third place is just 4 pointers and 5 pointers. You're gonna leave room for 4 solid 3 pointers, and I think with the neutral goal difference, Korea is gonna go through as well. South Africa, hard luck. You got one against Mexico, one against Czech, but it was not enough, and they are eliminated. So the final prediction is Mexico at first with 7 points, Czech Republic at second with 4 points, Korea at third with 3 points, and South Africa with just a single point. That is it, and stay tuned in for more predictions on the rest of the groups, and be sure to click the subscribe button and refer to other videos and other predictions that I've made on other groups. Thank you for watching and see you again.